The dog wouldn't stop digging. That's what the neighbor remembered. Every morning for 3 weeks, same spot. Corner of the yard near the old fence post. The owner pulled the animal away each time. Didn't think much of it. Dogs dig. But this dog knew something. In the fall of 1987, a 34-year-old woman named Carol Maines disappeared from the small town of Harwick, Pennsylvania. She was last seen leaving her shift at the county records office on a Thursday evening. Her car was found 2 days later, parked at an odd angle on a gravel road outside town. Keys still in the ignition. Purse on the passenger seat. No Carol. Carol was the kind of person people noticed when she wasn't there. She coached youth soccer on weekends. She called her mother every Sunday at 7. She had a laugh that carried across a parking lot. Her coworkers said she seemed normal that last Thursday. Happy even. She'd just renewed the lease on her apartment. She had plans. Within a week, police had a person of interest. A man named Dale Pruitt. Carol's neighbor, 41 years old, twice divorced. He'd been seen arguing with Carol in her driveway 3 days before she disappeared. Witnesses described it as loud. Dale denied it meant anything. Said it was about a property line. Detectives brought Dale in twice. He answered every question. His alibi for Thursday night was a gas station receipt and a friend who confirmed they'd watched a game together. Thin, but it held. There was no physical evidence connecting him to Carol's disappearance. No body. No crime scene. In 1987, without more, there was nothing to charge him with. Dale Pruitt walked free. He stayed in Harwick, kept his house, got a dog, a German shepherd he named Rook, lived quietly. Carol's case went cold. Her file sat in a cabinet at the Harwick Sheriff's Department while the detective who worked it retired, and then died. 29 years passed. In 2016, a new deputy sheriff named Tara Weston was assigned to review old unsolved cases as part of a county initiative. She pulled Carol's file expecting nothing. What she found was a case that had been closed more from exhaustion than from resolution. And there was one detail that had never been fully explained. A partial boot print found near Carol's car. It had been photographed but never matched. The image quality was poor. In 1987, that was the end of the road. In 2016, it wasn't. Weston sent the photograph to a forensic specialist in Pittsburgh who used digital enhancement software that hadn't existed 3 decades earlier. The print sharpened. The tread pattern became legible. And that's when the specialist told Weston something that made her pull Dale Pruitt's name back to the top of the file. She didn't tell anyone what it was yet. Not until she had something else. She started asking questions around Harwick, quietly. That's when a neighbor, an older woman named Ruth, who'd lived next to Dale for over a decade, mentioned the dog. Rook had passed away the previous year, but Ruth remembered something specific. For about 3 weeks in the fall of 1987, right after Carol went missing, Rook dug obsessively at one corner of Dale's yard. Dale always pulled him away. Eventually poured a concrete slab over that section. Said he was tired of the mud. Weston applied for a warrant. It took 4 months. The judge needed more than a dog's behavior from 30 years ago. But the boot print, now matched to a make and size consistent with Dale Pruitt's documented shoe size, combined with Ruth's statement, was enough. On a Tuesday morning in March 2017, a forensic excavation team broke the concrete slab in the corner of Dale Pruitt's old yard. He'd sold the house in 2009. The new owners had no idea. 18 inches down, they found Carol Maines. She had been there since 1987. Dale Pruitt was arrested the same afternoon. He was 70 years old. He said nothing when they put the handcuffs on. His attorney later argued the evidence was circumstantial. The jury disagreed. In 2018, Dale Pruitt was convicted of second-degree murder. He died in prison 14 months later. The detail that stayed with Deputy Weston, the thing she said she thought about long after the trial, wasn't the conviction. It was the dog. Rook had known in 1987, had been trying to tell anyone who would listen. Nobody looked. Sometimes the case doesn't close because the evidence disappears. Sometimes it's because nobody was ready to see it yet. Carol Maines was buried in Harwick in the spring of 2017, 30 years after she went missing. Her mother, then 89 years old, was there. If you know of a cold case in your area that deserves a second look, leave a comment. These stories exist everywhere. Most of them are still waiting.